Signs of narcissistic collapse and what to do next. What happens when a narcissist experiences a fatal blow to their ego? That's the title of this video. Narcissistic collapse happens when a person with narcissistic personality disorder, when a narcissist is unable to maintain their confident image after a big hit to their ego. The common signs of narcissistic collapse include angry outbursts, irritability, and defensive behavior. Being let go from a job or the breakup of a relationship are common triggers for narcissistic collapse. Narcissistic collapse happens when a person with narcissistic personality disorder, when a narcissist becomes unable to uphold their grandiose, their confident image due to a perceived fatal blow to their reputation. This leads to a breakdown which manifests as angry outbursts, irritable or defensive behavior, and verbal or physical aggression. Internally, the narcissist feels a loss of sense of self along with perceived rejection and abandonment. It can result in harm to the person with narcissism and those around them. So, the signs and symptoms of narcissistic collapse include angry outbursts, irritability, increase in physical or verbal aggression, heightened sense of perceived rejection, defensive behaviors, depression, vindictive actions, withdrawal from social interactions. Narcissists experiencing narcissistic collapse may feel isolated and abandoned, often lashing out at those closest to them. Recognizing the signs of narcissistic collapse can help narcissists and their loved ones understand what to look for. The common triggers of narcissistic collapse they can vary in size, but must be significant. Number one, on the narcissist will feel like their entire sense of self has been pulled out from under them. Because their sense of self-worth is based on the interpretation of others, this can cause a spiral that leads them to feel alone and empty and can result in depression and even suicide. Others who are close to the narcissist will often realize that the narcissist isn't exhibiting their usual predictable behaviors and therefore start to exhibit anxiety because of the narcissist. They might also distance themselves from the narcissist in order to shield themselves from the narcissist's behavior. So what are the coping strategies for dealing with a narcissistic collapse? For people dealing with a narcissistic collapse, the narcissist is going to have a deflated, disrupted sense of self, and they're going to lash out at you. So you need to have a well-developed sense of self in order to withstand their criticisms and recognize that it's not your job to fix them. You also need to have a good support system. You also need to have a good support system outside of the narcissist. Having that sense of support can help remind you that you aren't to blame in the situation. Being able to take time away or time to clear your head are also legitimate ways of coping. Anything that allows you to meet your own needs, regardless of the narcissist, are good ways of coping. And of course, professional help and support is always an option. Recovery strategies for narcissists after collapse. The narcissist can recover from a narcissistic collapse, but it can be difficult. The best course of action for the narcissist is for them to try to identify their sense of self outside of other people. Getting a narcissist to acknowledge that they don't have to be grandiose or impressive to receive love can work, but it depends on the narcissist. And this strategy may precipitate further irritability and outbursts. The narcissist must be willing to work on themselves and admit that they are part of the problem. If they aren't willing to do this and they continue to blame others, then they are going to have a lower chance of recovery. For a narcissist, they must be aware that this may not work at all. Similarly, while narcissists can benefit from professional counseling, they are often resistant to it. They must be willing to go to therapy, and they must be willing to be vulnerable in therapy in order for professional counseling to work. But those narcissists that find a good therapist who can form a trusting bond with them can help them feel accepted even with their flaws. So navigating narcissistic collapse can be stressful, both for the narcissist and the people who are close to them. However, with some good strategies that can help both parties, narcissistic collapse can be managed. Remember, a narcissist is a selfish, self-centered individual. They take. They lack empathy. They are very arrogant and boastful. They believe they are perfect. They believe they are always right. And they need constant attention, constant validation, constant admiration from you. So, remember, narcissistic collapse happens when a person who is a narcissist is unable to maintain their confident image after a big hit to their ego. And some of the common signs of narcissistic collapse include angry outbursts, irritability, and defensive behavior. Being let go from a job or the breakup of a relationship are also common triggers for narcissistic collapse. So, narcissistic collapse happens when someone who is a narcissist becomes unable to uphold their grandiose, confident image due to a perceived fatal blow to their reputation. And this leads to a breakdown which manifests as angry outbursts, irritable or defensive behavior, and verbal or physical aggression. Internally, the narcissist feels a loss of sense of self along with perceived rejection and abandonment. And it can result in harm to the person with the narcissist and to those people around the narcissist. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've learned a thing or two. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you've not done so. Thank you.